Welcome to another tutorial of Proflan YouTube channel. In this particular video, we are going to have a discussion on some of the most commonly tested topics in your coming exam. So if you're new to Proflan YouTube channel, consider subscribing so that anytime I'm going to upload further tutorials, you may be notified. So at this given point, you can see from the on screen here, we have a question to do with inequalities, and then you are supposed to work out and state the inequalities that satisfies this region R. So one of the equation is given, and I'm going to look at the first equation. Here we are told that the equation given as y equals to 2x plus 2. So that one is quite important because we know already that y equals to 2x plus 2. So this is going to enable us to get the inequality direct. And in that way, because for you to state the inequality, you need the equation of that particular line. So which will mean that since we have the equation, what we only need is the sign. So to identify that, we are going to use a point, let's say 0 0, the point 0 0 in this region R, because if you look at that region R, we have a point 0 0 which is in the satisfy, which is satisfied in the equation, which is in the required region. So meaning that since we don't know which inequality we are going to have here, we are going to say y dash 2x plus 2, y dash 2x plus 2. So what are we going to do with this point 0 0 that I've mentioned here? What I'm going to do with it is to substitute it to this equation, and I'll have actually 0 here because y value is 0 and the x value is 0 there. So which means that I'll substitute 0 where I have y, I'll substitute 0 where I have x, and this is going to be 2 times 0 will be 0 plus 2. So you can see now we have 0 equals to 2, right? So meaning that this inequality is going to be written as, this is how we're going to write this, 0 dash 2. Is 0 greater than 2 or less than 2? Less than, right? So we are going to say the inequality then we have to put here is that 0 is less than all equal to, because this line is actually continuous. If you look at it, is continuous, is a continuous line. So we are going to have the equality part of it. So the inequality for that particular equation is y is less than or equal to 2x plus 2. So that's what you are supposed to do in that particular kind of a question. So let's move to the next equation. I want you to identify, because in this part that we were having here, you see there is this inequality that is actually this inequality that is there is this line that is passing through 0 0. Let's see, it passes, there is this line here that it passes through 0 1 and 1 0. So meaning that we can be able to say that line is passing through 0 1 and it's also passing through 1 0. So from here, remember, for you to find the equation of a line, you need a gradient, and the gradient m is change in y over change in x. So meaning that we can now say, let this be our x2 y2 x1 y1. So which means that we can be able to say that our gradient is y2 minus y1, 0 minus 1 over 1, x2 is 1, because so yeah, the reason as why I've used that is because mostly this gradient is given by y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So which means that we are going to substitute the values that we have. in order to get the gradient of this line. So meaning that our y2 is 0 minus y1 is 1 over x2 is 1 minus x1 is 0. So that's going to be -1. So the gradient of this line is -1. And you need to remember that equation of a straight line is usually y equals to mx plus c. So what does that mean? That means that we can be able to use, so we can say use the 0.01. Now use the 0.01 and the gradient m equals to -1. We're using the 0.01 and the gradient m is equals to -1. Then substitute them here. Where we have y, we shall write 1. Where we have x, we are going to write 0. Where we have y, we shall substitute 1. And where we have x, we are going to substitute 0. And where we have m, we are going to substitute -1 so that we can be able to find the value of c. And then that is going to be 1 equals to -1 times 0 plus c. Then you see this is going to go to 0. Therefore, we can now say c is equals to actually 1. So meaning that the equation of this line, the equation of our line that we have found, the equation is actually is y equals to negative x, because m is -1. So that's why we're saying negative x, then plus 1. So we have this as the equation of this line that was passing through the point 0, 1 and 1, 0. Now, we are going to follow the same procedure and process the way we did here in order to find which inequality are we going to use at this given point. So at this point, we are going to say now, using the region that we identify, the region using the point, because this point here is in the region R. This point is in the region R. So we are going to put it here and say this is a 0 dash -0. So this is -1 times 0. That's going to be 0, then plus 1. So is 0, because 0 plus 1 is actually going to give us 1. So is 0 greater than 1 or less than 1? Is 0 greater than 1 or less than 1? 0 is actually less than 1. So we are going to use the less than inequality. So we are going to 0 is less than or equal to 1. So therefore, this inequality at this particular point here, we are going to say this is going to be y is less than or equal to -x plus 1. So that is the inequality, one of the inequality that satisfies this. So there is one inequality that we need also to mention so that we can be able to finish up with this. There is this line that is passing through horizontally. Yeah, this line that is passing through -3. This line that is passing through -3, and the region is above it. So we're going to say this is the line y is greater than or equal to -3. So we were having a set of 3 inequalities. This one here, y is less than or equal to 2x plus 2, and the second one is this, and also the third one is y is greater than or equal to -3. And if you are new to Proflan YouTube channel, this is the time that you need to subscribe so that anytime I'm going to upload further tutorials, you'll be notified. I've noted from the analytics of YouTube, it is indicating that most of us were just watching and we have not subscribed. I don't know whether are you unhappy with this kind of videos I'm making for you. If you are happy, just subscribe, and also you can be able to share to your friends so that also they can be able to join us. We grow the channel as you are benefiting as well. So we need to now look at something else, another question, another topic that you are likely to be tested. How are you supposed to work it out, and which is the best way to approach it in order to garner and earn all the marks, right? Right. Let's see which is the next topic, which is the next, just guess which is the next topic that's going to appear here. Guess, and you'll tell me down in the comment section whether your guess was right. All right, let's see. 1, 2, 3. Here we are. Take arithmetic series. Sequence and series is another common topic that you'll be tested. Let me know whether you are comfortable with it. But I felt that this is another area that we need to look at. And when we are talking about arithmetic series, we need to find nth term for arithmetic sequence. We have nth term is actually given by the formula a plus n minus 1 into d. Oh, serious, eh? Let me just. Nth term in an arithmetic sequence is given by the formula nth term. Let me write it. Nth term is given by the formula. That's not quite. You know, I have to keep on checking whenever I'm writing whether the camera is just capturing that area. So that's why you find that I just wrote at the top and you are not able to see. Now let me just now focus and move down a little bit. I lower the height. So we're going to say nth term is given by the formula a, where a is the first term, plus n minus 1. N is the number of the term that you're trying to find. D, where D is the common difference. This is one of the most important formula that you need in this topic. The second one is the sum of n terms is actually given by n over 2 into 2a plus n minus 1 into d. That is the second formula that we need in this case so that we can be able to work out this. Before we embark into doing this question, something that you need to realize here is that if you're having a sequence 2, 4, 6, 8 like this, then if you are finding the common difference d is going to be the number in front minus the number which is behind there. So meaning that this is going to be 4 minus 2 or 8 minus 6 and so on, all 6 minus 4. So meaning that whenever you're finding the common difference, you take the number in front minus the number behind. So since in this particular question, we are given actually k, 3k over 4, k over 2, and k over 4, then we can say now common difference is going to be what? My common difference is going to be, I'll take 3k over 2 . Now from this sequence, I'll say that my common difference d is going to be 3k over 4 minus k. This is my common difference. So in that case, I can even decide to express it as a single fraction, and this is going to be 3k minus 4k, which is going to be what? Which is going to be actually minus 1 over 4k. That is the common difference, 1 over 4k as the common difference. But we are told that the 15th term is equivalent to 90 plus 2k. That the 15th term is 90 plus 2k. So meaning that we are going to use this formula in order to work out. We check how we are going to arrive at this point so that we can be able to find the value of k. So at that given point, we are going to use this formula here and say the first term from the sequence here, our a is actually k, our d we have found as negative 1 over 4k, and our n is actually 15, so that we can be able to apply this formula in order to try and find the value of k. So meaning at this given point now we can be able to write the formula and apply it. So this is going to be a, our a is actually k plus 15, which is n minus 1, into common difference is negative 4k, is equals to 90 plus 2k. 90 plus 2k. We can open the brackets and put the like terms together. So we shall have k plus 14. This is actually going to become negative 14 over 4k equals to 90 plus 2k. So we can decide and put the like terms together here. So if we subtract, if we decide to subtract here, need to subtract 1 minus 14 over 4. This is going to translate to negative 5 over 2k. So this is a negative 5 over 2k minus 2k equals to 90. I've just brought also this part on this side of the equal sign so that we can be able to see what we are going to get at that given point. So so this minus 2 again, we are going to get negative 9 over 2k. So this one is negative 9 over 2k equals to 90. So in order to find the value of k, I'm going to multiply by 2 both sides, by 2 both sides, divide by negative 9, divide by negative 9, so that this and this will cancel, this and this will cancel out, and then we end up having the value of k. Our k, let me say that I space here. Our k is going to be equal to what? Negative 20. K is going to become negative 20 in that particular case. Now that we have negative 20 as the value of k, it means that we can go ahead and try to work out the sum, the sum of the first. Okay, let me just first remove this part here so that we can be able to get enough space. Okay, so now that we have the value of k as negative 20, we can be able to find the common difference. Let me just work it here. So we have said that k is actually negative 20, but we had d, and this is equal to the first term a, because if you remember when you were having that question here, this question here, our first term is k. Our first term is k, and k is negative 20. So meaning our first term a is negative 20. Then common difference, we had an expression for the common difference d, and common difference expression is this part here. Remember, common difference. So the common difference expression is this. So we can be able to find the exact value of the common difference, and that is actually negative 1 over 4k, that is negative 20. So the common difference is going to be equal to positive 5. So common difference in this question is positive 5. Then now, since we have the first term a, therefore, we can say a equals to negative 20, d equals to 5. Then what are we finding? The sum of the first 30 terms. The sum of the first 30 terms. So n is actually 30. So in this case, our n is equals to 30. So we are going to apply this formula at this given point so that we can be able to find the sum of the first n terms. So we are going to say this sum of n terms, that is 30 terms, is going to be equal to n over 2, 30 over 2 into brackets 2 times a. Our a, we got it as negative 20 plus 30 minus 1 into the common difference, which is 5. So we are going to say that this is what we are going to do in order to earn our mark. So which means that at this given point we are going to simplify, and this is going to be actually 15 into bracket, this becomes negative 40 and this becomes plus 29 times 5, so that we can be able to put everything in our calculator in order to check what we're getting. So we are having 29 times 5, which is 145. Then 145, so this becomes 15 into negative 40 plus 145. So which means this is going to be 15 times what? Times 105. 105. So if you work it out, you can see here we are getting 1575. 1575 as our final answer. 1575 as our final answer in this case. So before you go to sit for that particular exam, make sure you've mastered how to work out question to do with arithmetic sequence, finding nth term, finding the sum of a given number of terms. So we need to change the gear and look at the next topic that is commonly tested. So I'll keep on repeating. There are gonna be a series of many videos to come for IGCSE and A levels. So the best thing to do is to subscribe to Prof Learn YouTube channel, and also you can leave a comment down below if you are getting value, so that I can be able to get feedback and know is this video helping you, is these videos of great help to you. And also it's another way to interact with you, so that I can be able to know what you are thinking about this video. And at the end of the day, if you have any request, I can also be able to get it. So once I've uploaded this, I'll be able to go down, write down. I'm going right down in the comment section to check your comments, and I get to reply to them. So we need to move straight to the next part. And in that game, let's see. Guess which is the next topic. Guess whether your guess is right. Let's see whether your guess is right. All right, let's see. Next topic is transformations. Okay, you are going to meet different questions here for transformations. For instance, before we look at this question, let me just mention something. You are going to be given maybe a function y is equals to 2. So we say that I should not write too high. Yeah, my height is the one that is okay. If you're having a function y equals to x minus 3 squared plus 4. Now this one is actually the we say that I should not be writing too high. So this is y equals to x minus 2 raised to power 2 plus 4. Now, if you're having a function like this, actually this is completed. The square has been completed here. So when a function is in this format, even if it's having maybe 3 somewhere there, you can be able to actually state the turning point of this function. And the turning point stroke maximum point stroke minimum point, all this you are going to take. Okay, you see this value that you have here, this one, you always take the opposite sign. So if it's a negative, you will take the positive when you are stating the turning point. So turning point is going to be 2. But this guy that we are having here change the sign. but here take it that way. So this is going to be 4. So the turning point is 2, 4. Now, suppose this was given as f of x. If this was actually given as f of x, and then you are told state the function, state the turning point of f(x plus 2). So you can see now the change is happening inside the bracket. So it means in this case only x values are changing. I don't know whether we are together. Only x values are changing. So the turning point of this function that has been transformed from this is going to remain, the y part is going to remain 4. But since this is added there, we are going to subtract 2 from this one, and we are going to have 0. So the new turning point is going to be 0, 4. If it's added, you do the opposite what the function says. So if you are told find f of x minus 1, the turning point here, of course this one also the change is going to take place only for the change the x values, because the change is inside the function. It means this is going to be the turning point is going to be, you are going to add now, because it's minus, you are going to add 1 to this, and this is going to be 3, 4. But if the change is taking place outside the function, for instance, if you are told find the turning point of f of x plus 1, you see now the change is taking place outside the bracket. So it means only y values will change. Only y values will change. Only y values will change. Therefore, now since our original is this one, is going to be 2, the turning point is going to be 2. Then now since this is plus, you do exactly what you are told. If for the y function, you always do what exactly you are told. If you are it's here plus, you add 1 to this one. If it's minus, you subtract. So the new value is going to be 2, 5. But if there is a transformation change inside here, and it means the two values are going to be affected. Okay, now the curve C has the equation y equals to f of x, where f of x, now in this case we're given that f of x is equals to 9 minus 3 into x plus 2 squared, and then write down the coordinate of A, and we are told A is the maximum point. So the coordinate of A is going to be, we say that you are going to check that value and then you change the sign to be negative, and this one is going to be 9. That becomes the coordinate of the turning point. Okay, so that is for part A, and then for part B, the curve C is transformed to a curve S by translation 4,0. The curve C, of course, this is our actually C, is translated, is transformed by translation 4,0. Then we are supposed to find the equation of S, but we are given the translation 4,0, so meaning that X values are moving to the right. So if they are moving to the right, whenever you are going to write this transformation, it means we are going to subtract the value 4 units to the right. This is 4 to the right. So meaning we are going to subtract this 4 when we're writing the formula of C. So meaning the curve now f of x plus 4 is going to be written as 9 minus 3 into x plus 2 then minus 4. Because this is a positive, we do the opposite as we agreed from the previous section. Minus 3 into x minus 2 as the equation of C now. The equation of C. The equation of C is this one. The equation of the transformation. Yeah, so this is the new equation of the transformation. All right, so now moving to the next question here. The curve C is transformed to the curve T. The curve T has the equation y equals to. So first we need to write actually C was what? The curve C. C was what? Let's see. The curve C was f of x equals to 9 minus 3 into x plus 2 squared. That was the curve C. Then our new curve, this is actually T. T is f of y is 3 into x plus 2 squared plus 9. So if I can look at this keenly, I'll see that minus 9. So if I can look at this keenly, for us to get this function here, it's like this one has been multiplied by -1. Yeah, so that it can be able to make this positive and make this negative. So it means that f so it can be seen that this is like y is equals to negative f of x. Yeah, this one has been multiplied by -1 in order to make it to be this. So we can say this is actually, this change is this is a reflection. This transformation that we are having here represents a reflection on the x axis, or we can say this is actually y, a reflection on y equals to 0. The reflection on the line y is equals to 0. All right, so basically that's what you are supposed to have worked it out here. Means that we can now move to the next part, and in our next area of interest is a question that is coming from Surds. And if you are not happy with Surds, it's better you be happy with it and you start working on it as now that you have some time, and ensure that at least you know how to rationalize the denominator. You need to understand the few common laws of Surds. So here we are given that 8 over root 5 minus 1, and we are supposed to give the answer in the form root a plus b, where a and b are integers, and we are supposed to show our steps, because you cannot put this in a calculator and say, now I have the marks, and you smile all the way from the exam room, say that you earned all the marks. No, you have to show the steps. So we are going to rationalize the denominator by multiplying by the conjugate at the numerator and denominator. So the conjugate, we are going to just change this sign. So it will be root 5 plus 1 multiplied by root 5 plus 1 also. So once we have this, we are going to say this is 8 into root 5 plus 1 over root 5 minus 1 multiplied to root 5 plus 1. So if we multiply this, this is going to be 8 root 5. Because you need to remember that if you are having some of the laws of surds that we learned, a times root a times root b is actually going to be a root b. This is one of the law that you learned as far as surds is concerned. But if you're having a, now in this case, what we're trying to say here is that if you're having 2 times root 3, it's going to be 2 root 3. But if you're having root a times root b, this is going to be a times b, both of them being under the root. So this is what we are going to do. So meaning that if you are having root 3 times root 5, this can be written as root 3 times 5, and that's going to be root 15. Yes, so that one you ought to remember. But if you're having root 3 times root 3, what will it become? That will become what? Root 3 times 3, which is the same as root 9, which is the same as 3. So meaning if you are having root a times root a, the answer is a, from this expression that we have tried to work out to show in that case. So you need to understand the laws of and the rules of surds. So this time this is going to give us 8 root 5, and this time this is going to, because you are multiplying to this term and also multiplying that to this term, which is going to give us plus 8 at that given point over, we multiply root 5 times root 5. We have said root a times root a will be a. Root 5 times root 5 is going to give us root 25, and the root of 25 is 5. So this is going to be 5. Then we are going to multiply root 5 times 1 is going to be plus root 5. Then we shall also multiply negative 1 times root 5 is going to be minus root 5. And negative 1 times negative 1 is going to give us minus 1. So we can be able to simplify this now. This is going to be 8 root 5 plus 8. But these two guys here that we have, but these two guys are going to cancel out, and we are going to end up remaining with 5 minus 1, which is going to be 8 root 5 plus 8 over 4. So once we have this, this can be divided for this term and this one. So can divide these two numbers at the numerator. When you have 4 as a single term at the denominator, can divide these two. So this is going to be 8 root 5 over 4 plus 8 over 4. And this is going to translate to 2 root 5 plus 2. So then, which means that if I want to take this number inside the square root, if I want to take this number inside the square root, I'll have to square it, so that I'm having 5 times 4 plus 2 equals to root 20 plus 2 as our final answer in that case. Because if you are having 5 times 4. This can be written as root 5 times root 4, so that you can be able to have the square root of this, and finally you will have 2 root 5. So you need to understand that if you can combine this and express it as a single root, then you can also split this. So meaning when you have a number outside a square root and you want to take it inside a square root, what you ought to do is to square that number and then take it inside the square root. So basically, that's what we were supposed to do in this particular question. And now the next area that we really need to move to is to see the next topic that you can be tested. Let's see, which topic do you think that I'm going to bring on board? Just guess and then wait to see whether your guess was right. Just think of that topic that usually give you a challenge, and you find that's the topic that I'm going to bring on board. Just wait. Okay, I'm almost done. Sometimes it's very difficult and very hard to clean the board here. It takes time. Thank you for being patient. And now we need to see the next topic that I'm going to bring on board. The next topic is actually transformation, and we are given this question here. The graph y equals to a cos x minus b plus c, that's given from negative 180 all to way to 360, is drawn on the grid, and then we are supposed to find the value of a, b, and c. Now we are going to have a step-by-step. Okay, now given this kind of a graph, remember we are having a graph a cos x minus b plus c, and we're supposed to find the values of a, b, and c. In this case, we need to identify the principal axis, and the principal axis now in this case is this one. This is the principal axis. But remember, if we were drawing this graph without a transformation, just normally, the principal axis would have been this one, the x-axis. Now, the principal axis has been transformed from the blue to the red. How many steps has it gone up? It has gone up actually 2 steps, because from 0 to 2 is 2. So meaning that this is going to be our value of c. But let's just go step by step. So meaning that we are finding a, b, and c. So we can see now the principal axis has been moved 2 steps up, 2 steps up. So it has moved from 0 all the way to 2. So the red line is the one that's giving us the value of c, and that has been transformed from the principal x-axis. So in order to find the amplitude is the maximum displacement. You can see the way I've indicated the arrow. How high is the graph going from the principal axis, or how far down? So we can be able to say this is our amplitude at this given point, which represents the value of a, and we can see now it's moving from 2 all the way to 5, so the amplitude is actually 3. Then the next part we are going to look at is the value of b. So which means that if this graph, if we had to draw, okay, this is the value of c, we have a there, then now we need to find b. In order to find the value of b, the next thing that we need to do here is to try to draw the normally how this cosine graph will have been appearing on this grid. So cosine start from a maximum point, comes at 90, it is 0, then it goes down like that. So a cosine graph will have looked like this. Normally, this cosine graph will have looked like that. So if you notice, the point here has moved backward. The maximum point has moved backward. How many degrees? 90. So if you are moving to the left, you will wish to have positive. If you are moving to the left according to transformation, you need to have positive. So if it has moved negative 90 steps, it means that for us to have x there, it should be x plus 90, yeah, to indicate that it has moved 90 steps to the left. So meaning that we have to take this value as negative 90 there, so that it's x minus 90, so that it becomes x plus 90. So B is negative 90. So another way that you could have looked at it, the maximum point has been shifted how many steps? To the front. To the front is actually 270. So that our B could have been also 270, because this value as the maximum point has moved from 0 all the way to 270. So to the right, we are going to have our value of B to be 270. So if you substitute it to the transformation, it becomes x minus 270. Yeah. So you are to write just only one answer in this case in order to earn all your marks.